Chapter 21. You are listening at novelfull.audio. At this time, the soldier in charge of the guard came over and pulled the old man away, apologizing repeatedly. "Excuse me," but the old man cried out heartbreakingly, wailing non-stop. It was really tearful and heartbreaking. The audience on the stage saw this scene and talked about it. "Who is this old man? I just saw him following behind when Li Dazhuang was carried out. He should be Li Dazhuang's father. No wonder, so, Li Dazhuang is dead. With that sword piercing his chest, even if he didn't die, it wouldn't be much better. What a pity, but this Lin An is too cruel. He hit so hard, that there are casualties in martial arts tests, but it is rare for someone to hit as hard as Lin An." At first, everyone thought it was nothing, but people are visual animals after all. The old man's wailing won the sympathy of many people, and they began to blame Lin An. The public opinion changed instantly. Lin An never expected this to happen. His face was so gloomy that water could drip out of it. If it is not handled properly, it will affect his reputation, and thus affect the views of some bigwigs on him, and then affect his career. This is unacceptable to him. Lin An calmed down, showed a grief-stricken expression, and sighed. "Uncle, I am also deeply saddened by Brother Li's death. Although I am not familiar with Brother Li, we have been friends for a long time. But martial arts exams are so dangerous, and casualties are common. My martial arts skills are comparable to Brother Li's. If I'm not careful, I might be the one to be killed or injured. So I can only attack with all my strength. There is no way to stop. If I died today, I would not blame Brother Li, but only blame myself for my bad luck and inferior skills. But Brother Li's death still has a lot to do with me, so within my ability, I am willing to do my best." After saying this, he took out a stack of silver bills from his pocket. "This 1,000 taels of silver is all my family property. Please accept it as a token of my appreciation." After saying this, he handed over the silver note and bowed deeply. His words were sincere and heartfelt, and the audience nodded repeatedly after hearing them. "That makes sense. This sword has no eyes, and it's not Lin An's fault." Before the martial arts test, everyone signed a life and death agreement. Life and death are determined by fate, so you can't blame others. He himself said that if he died, he would not blame Li Dazhuang, but only blame himself for not being as skilled as others. This is what a real man does. It's just that this old man is pitiful. He lost his son in his old age. The emotions of ordinary people are easily influenced. What no one saw was that Lin An lowered his face, and the corners of his mouth kept rising. "Fight with me? You are still a little naive." The old man saw that the wind was blowing towards Lin An, and he kept wailing. "I don't care. Who wants your dirty money? You killed my son, I want you to pay with your life." That he kept rushing forward, wanting to do something to Lin An, but was stopped by the soldiers. "This old man is so ungrateful. Can you blame Lin An for your son's death? Blame it on your inferior skills. Take the money and leave. 1,000 taels of silver is enough for you to live a rich life for the rest of your life." Public opinion was overwhelmingly in favor of Lin An. It seemed as if he was the victim. The old man couldn't stand it, and he was so angry that he spit out blood and fainted. Seeing this, Lin An quickly ordered the soldiers to send the old man to the hospital for treatment. At the same time, he stuffed 1,000 taels of silver into the old man's pocket and said that he would cover the medical expenses. This behavior was praised by everyone. Soon, the news also reached the ears of the noble families in the VIP seats. Lin An is not only a man of great martial arts skills, but also of noble character. He is truly a blessing to our Dakian. Only virtue and morality can convince people. I want to take him as my student. The old guy is dreaming, I like it too. I don't know if he is married yet. I have a 28-year-old daughter in my house who can be married to him. Your daughter's 28 is not her age, but her weight. How can she be so good? You. During the meal, Wang Xuan naturally heard about Lin An's virtue and his face remained calm. The son of luck is still a bit of a talent. Actually, This matter was arranged by Wang Xuan at the table, otherwise, how could the old man Li Dazhuang break through the guards of the soldiers? I originally wanted to ruin his reputation, but I didn't expect him to handle it. It seems that I still have to do it myself. Wang Xuan looked deeply at Lin An's figure. Half an hour later, the competition continued. Lin An had good luck in the draw. None of his opponents in the 2 rounds were among the top 5, none of his opponents could match him. The crowd began to cheer for him. Come on, Lin An. After all, among the remaining contestants, Lin An was the only one of commoner origin. Naturally, the common people would be more willing to support him. In the penultimate round, Lin An met Chen Yuling, who was predicted to be ranked second. Everyone became nervous. Chen Yuling said disdainfully, "Just admit defeat. I'm afraid you will lose too badly." He was already a 2-flower innate, and he was a crushing opponent to Lin An, who was a 1-flower innate. You'll know after the competition. Lin An sneered. Shame on you. Chen Yuling was furious. He had originally planned to give some face and recruit Lin An for his Chen family. With a flash of his body, Chen Yuling came behind Lin An and chopped him down with a knife. When someone saw this, they couldn't help but exclaimed, "Be careful." Chen Yuling sneered, but when the knife touched Lin An's body, he immediately felt something was wrong. Oh no! It's an afterimage. Just as the thought came to my mind, I felt a pain in my back. When I realized it, the person was already under the ring. I lost. Chen Yuling couldn't believe it, but the fact was that he was knocked off the stage by Lin An. Lin An wins. There was a cheer at the scene. No one expected that Lin An could actually defeat Chen Yuling, who was born with the 2nd flower. He can actually fight across levels. Lin An is so powerful. Maybe he can become the patron saint of Daqian like that person. The audience praised him generously. At this time, behind the curtain beside the martial arts stage, a pair of beautiful eyes sparkled. The sun was setting, and the martial arts test had come to the final round. Lin An faced Yang Linjeng, who was predicted to be ranked first. This was destined to be a hardy battle. All the arenas in the training ground were merged into the middle, becoming the only large arena. The people around kept shouting, their faces flushed, and their spirits were high. The main reason was that no one had expected that Lin An, who was born in a civilian family, could actually stand on the arena of the martial arts test finals. At this moment, Lin An represented them. Lin An! Lin An! Yang Linjeng is invincible. The shouts and cheers were endless. However, Yang Linjeng's shout still slightly overshadowed Lin An. After all, as the only 2 second-level innates in this martial arts test, and predicted to be the first, Yang Linjeng's strength is unquestionable. The most important thing is that he is the son of General Shenwei. That man is the best. As his son, how can his martial arts be bad? Although Lin An defeated Chen Yuling, a 2nd-level innate, it is hard to say who will win against Yang Linjeng. At this time, there were 2 figures standing on both sides of the big arena. One was like a sword drawn from its sheath, and the other was like a sharp spear. The sword was Lin An, and the spear was Yang Linjeng. The 2 stood facing each other with their eyes closed. Before the game started, they could feel the confrontation. The sound of the gong rang. In an instant, the 2 opened their eyes and attacked at the same time. Chapter 22. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. The 2 men fought against each other. The sharp and rapid sound of weapons colliding was endless. Fast. Too fast. The sword was like lightning, and the gun shot out like a dragon. Everyone was dazzled. All they could see was the energy bursting out in all directions, and the debris flying all over the sky. Only martial artists with a high level of realm could see the figures of the 2 people clearly. Green lotuses kept appearing and dying, and the golden dragon's shadow was majestic. Such a wonderful competition. How could it not make people's blood boil? Bang! A huge sound rang out. The 2 figures separated. Lin An looked a little embarrassed, no longer elegant, and Yang Linjeng was still calm, but his clothes were broken in many places, and even the wounds could be seen. Lin An's face was gloomy. He thought he could end the battle quickly, but Yang Linjeng's strength was beyond his expectations. It seems that the move can't be hidden, otherwise even if he wins, it will be a miserable victory, which will affect his next plan. So he swung the green lotus sword in his hand and shouted angrily. This is my strongest move. Please taste it. Yang Linjing's slightly trembling hands tightly grasped the gun, still full of vigor. If you want to fight, then fight. As soon as the words fell, the two of them stomped their feet and rushed out. The green lotus is towering. A sudden attack. A huge green lotus rose from the sword's edge, as if to cover the sky. The green light made everyone's eyes hurt, the spear moved with it, and a golden dragon flew up from the bottom, trying to pierce the green lotus covering the sky. The two collided instantly. A dazzling white light. Boom! A huge sound resounded throughout the venue, then there was a crackling sound of breaking. Those who were not strong enough closed their eyes and covered their ears, not daring to watch this battle. This day, is it going to break? Some people couldn't help but exclaim. In just a moment, the white light disappeared, and the dust and smoke dissipated. The situation in the field was visible. Lin An held the sword and stood proudly, like a peerless swordsman. The spear in Yang Linjing's hand broke, and he sat on the ground, his face full of disbelief. Everything was silent, even the referee was stunned. After a while, he woke up slowly and raised the sign and said, "Lin An wins." As soon as the words fell, the whole audience burst into cheers like a tidal wave. Lin An! Lin An! What a joy! I cried. This is the first time that one of us civilians has won first place in the martial arts test. And he defeated Yang Linjing. The general's son. In the crowd, Chu Siyan looked at Lin An with eyes like rippling water, and her heart was also filled with ripples. She murmured to herself. Did you see it, Wang Xuan? This is Lin An. He is the real chosen one. And you are nothing. My choice was not wrong. Sooner or later, he will step on you under his feet. Wait. Of course, some are happy and some are worried. Oh my goodness, I didn't expect Lin An to actually get first place. Luckily I bought it. Did you buy it? I bought it, but unfortunately I only bought 500 taels. I regret it a bit. It's not a small amount. I can earn 1,002 taels of silver. Shall we go to the brothel to listen to music together later? I think so too. Ha ha ha. Bucktooth Sue heard the conversation of others, and his heart was bleeding. This was all his money. No, it was his master's money. But he felt bad. After all, he would be rewarded for making money. Now, not only would he not get any, he might even be punished. But who would have thought that this unknown Lin An could actually win the first place in the martial arts test? Others were fine, they only bought a little bit, and the odds were not high. But the man who bet 200,000 taels at the beginning made him uncomfortable. 20 to 1, that means he would have to pay 4 million taels. Not to mention making money on this bet, he might even have to lose some. He didn't know how to explain to his master. It was impossible to run away, so he could only go back and admit his mistake to his master. Maybe he could still save his life. On the stage, Lin An stood proudly, feeling the applause and praise from all directions. The corners of his mouth involuntarily showed a smug smile, unable to hide his joyful mood. The first place in the martial arts test, who else but me? At this moment, he finally felt what it meant to be in high spirits. The depression in his heart over the past month was also relieved a lot. Then he looked in the direction of the martial arts stage, the VIP seats. Lin An knew that Wang Xuan was sitting there, watching him compete, so he shouted loudly. Lin An is not talented. Please fight with His Royal Highness, the Prince of Zhenbei. A month ago, His Highness went to the Chu family to break off the engagement, using his power to pressure others. As a good friend of Miss Chu, I was angry and took action, but was defeated by His Highness. At that time, I was not as skilled as others, so naturally I had nothing to say. Now that I have learned something, I hope to be able to meet His Royal Highness. Ask for justice. Everyone looked at the proud and elegant figure standing in the field, and sighed in their hearts, challenging the aristocratic family as a commoner and standing up for a friend. What courage and courage! The blood was instantly ignited, and the people kept shouting. Lin An! I support you! Prince of Zhenbei, give Lin An justice. In the crowd, Chu Siyan looked at the desolate but strong figure, with distress and gratitude in her eyes. Lin Lang, are you doing this for Yener? At this moment, she was completely defeated. Hearing the voices of support from everyone, Lin An was full of pride. This challenge was something he had thought of before the competition. First, it was naturally to vent Chu Siyan's anger and seek justice for the Chu family. Second, he could become famous and gain enough reputation to become a civilian leader of the younger generation, which would become his political capital. Finally, and most importantly, it was to break the inner demon. The higher the martial arts cultivation, the more important the state of mind is, especially if one wants to condense the three flowers to achieve the perfect master. Being defeated by Wang Xuan has become his inner demon. If the inner demon is not eliminated, the three flowers will be like a mirror, so he must defeat Wang Xuan. But does Wang Xuan dare to accept the challenge? This is everyone's question, especially among the aristocratic families. There are many who want to watch the show, support Wang Xuan. Don't be kidding, there are also conflicts of interest among the aristocratic families. Some people wish Wang Xuan would die, especially those who were just scared to death by Wang Xuan, but there are also people who are on good terms with the Zhenbei Palace and Wang Xuan. Wang Xuan just snorted when he heard Lin An's provocation. He had wanted to find a reason to teach Lin An a lesson, but he didn't expect that he would come to him impatiently. What else is there to say? He immediately stood up to fight. Suddenly, a fiery red figure blocked Wang Xuan's way, and said anxiously in a crisp tone. "Brother Wang Xuan, don't be impulsive. I got the news from my eldest brother that Lin An is a second-level flower." Wang Xuan looked at the red dress in front of him, and his eyes were instantly gentle. The charming figure in red was the daughter of General Shenwei and the sister of Yang Linzheng, Yang Xiaoxue. It was also Chu Siyan who was mocked by her at the gate of the academy that day. In the original plot, Yang Xiaoxue was one of the few people who still stood by Wang Xuan. Even after Wang Xuan died, she personally snatched his body and buried him. When his father Wang Xiang and General Shenwei Yangheng were good friends, Yang Xiaoxue often came back to the palace to play with him. The two were childhood sweethearts. Wang Xuan has always treated her as his sister, but Yang Xiaoxue actually has an unclear feeling for Wang Xuan. Compared with Chu Siyan, she is superior in all aspects, whether in family background, status, appearance, or talent. Even Lin An has feelings for her. However, in the original plot, the screenwriter gave Wang Xuan a halo of lowering intelligence. He actually turned a blind eye to Yang Xiaoxue, and instead made him wholeheartedly try to please a self-righteous heroine. This is disgusting, disgusting to the extreme. I don't know how he played the game in the first place. "Swear, don't worry, I will win," Wang Xuan said softly, but his tone was indescribably domineering and firm. In front of people close to him, he would not put on the airs of a prince. Yang Xiaoxue's heart trembled, and a hint of surprise appeared in her watery eyes. She did not notice Wang Xuan's tone, but was concerned about the words in it. "Swear. When did he call me so affectionate?" Then, as if she thought of something, her face showed embarrassment. "Brother Wang Xuan, don't you like me?" Chapter 24. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. Lin An counted the things on his body. The Green Lotus Sword song had already been gambled, and Wang Xuan would definitely not want it. He was reluctant to part with any of the other treasures. Suddenly, Lin An thought of a brilliant idea. "If you win, I will no longer have any dealings with Miss Chu. Are you satisfied with this?" Lin An smiled confidently. Wang Xuan had been suppressing the Chu family in order to force Chu Siyan to be with him, and he had seen through it a long time ago. If he wanted to leave Chu Siyan, Wang Xuan would definitely agree to such a condition. Chu Siyan's face turned pale in the crowd. Wang Xuan laughed out loud. "Master Lin, you have a beautiful idea. You want to use something that I don't want as a condition. How dare you say that? Whether you leave Chu Siyan or not is none of my business." That I finally got rid of this woman Chu Siyan, but Lin An actually wanted to frame him. The son of luck is really vicious. If I win, I will step on me to get to the top. If I lose, I will let Chu Siyan frame me. Whether you win or lose, you are numb to winning, right? Wang Xuan snorted coldly and stopped talking nonsense. "I heard that Master Lin has a holy medicine, Tianshan Snow Lotus, so let's use it as a bet." Lin An was surprised at first, then his face tightened. "How did your Highness know about this?" Tianshan Snow Lotus is a legendary holy medicine for healing wounds. A petal can bring the dead back to life and revive bones. Lin An also found it from the treasure house when he wiped out a mountain stronghold half a month ago. This matter is very secret, and he has only told Chu Siyan. Could it be? Lin An widened his eyes with an unbelievable look on his face. Wang Xuan snorted, "Don't worry about where this prince knows it, just tell me whether you want to bet or not." Lin An's face was gloomy. To be honest, he didn't want to gamble with the Tianshan snow lotus. After all, this kind of holy medicine is hard to come by, and it means a life at a critical moment. Moreover, some of his subsequent arrangements require the Tianshan snow lotus. It would be very troublesome if he lost it, but if he didn't agree, he was afraid that Wang Xuan might take the opportunity to refuse the competition and retreat unscathed, then everything he did in the end would be meaningless. That's right. What am I afraid of? I'm already a second level innate. Am I afraid that I can't beat a mere person who has just entered the innate realm? This Tianshan snow lotus is just a gimmick. Lin An sneered in his heart, and almost fell into Wang Xuan's trap. Tianshan snow lotus is Tianshan snow lotus, Lin agreed. Lin An took out a jade box from his arms and showed it to the people around him. The Tianshan snow lotus is here. Later, I will ask the minister to keep it for you and act as a witness. As long as His Royal Highness wins, this Tianshan snow lotus will belong to His Royal Highness. But if Lin wins by chance, I hope Your Highness will not break your promise. Please all my friends be witnesses. Everyone agreed. It's fun to watch the fun. Lin An sneered in his heart, let all the people in Luodu bear witness for me. When I lose, let's see how you deny your debt. After saying that, he threw the jade box into the hands of Lu Chu, the Minister of War. Thank you, Lord Lu. It's okay. Being able to witness this competition is also a good story. Lu Chu nodded in response. Wang Xuan looked calm on the surface, but he was very happy in his heart. He wanted everyone in the audience to be witnesses, so that Lin An could not deny it. This Tianshan snow lotus is not only a holy medicine for healing, but also involves a chance for Lin An to connect with others. If he can win the Tianshan snow lotus, he can cut off his chance. He just wanted to give it a try. Even if Lin An didn't agree, he still had to compete. I didn't expect Lin An to be so generous. Thank you boss for the Tianshan snow lotus. Your Highness, can we fight now? Seeing Wang Xuan's silence, Lin An gritted his teeth and said this. He was very upset that his momentum was interrupted again and again by Wang Xuan, and he was actually in a daze in front of him. Wang Xuan came to his senses and stopped talking nonsense. Come on. Let's fight. To thank you for generously giving up the Tianshan snow lotus, this prince is willing to let you have 3 moves. Lin An was furious, bursting with powerful momentum. He felt that Wang Xuan was insulting him. You will regret this. Go to hell. A towering blue lotus. The first move was the most powerful sword move. The sword tip stabbed towards Wang Xuan at an extremely fast speed. A towering blue lotus grew from the sword tip, trying to drown him. The people in the stands once again felt the dazzling sword intent. It is definitely the ultimate sword intent. When competing with Yang Linjing just now, Lin An didn't even use his full strength. Lin An is only 20 years old, but he has already comprehended the ultimate sword intent. What will he be able to do in the future? Prince Wang Xuan is going to suffer. At this time, on the ring, Wang Xuan stood in place, expressionless, as if he was frightened by the sword intent. This is a more powerful sword intent than the one he used against Yang Linjing before. Yang Linjing was seriously injured and fell to the ground. Can Wang Xuan withstand it? Some people gloated over his misfortune, while others couldn't bear to watch. Chu Siyan's eyes flashed, with a mocking expression on her face. Wang Xuan, this is the price you pay for humiliating me. The moment Yang Xiaoxue saw the overlapping figures of Qinglian and Wang Xuan, she exclaimed, no. Qinglian swallowed Wang Xuan in an instant, and Lin An's smile became even stronger. Wang Xuan, you didn't expect I had a trick up my sleeve. Even if you don't die this time, you will be seriously injured. Let you look down on me. So what if you are the Prince of Zhenbei? Didn't you become a stepping stone for me to reach the top? But after a moment, the smile on Lin An's face froze. What's going on? Under the green lotus, Wang Xuan's figure shattered like a dream bubble. Even if his moves were powerful, he couldn't do it to this extent. In an instant, Lin An felt something was wrong. Oh no! This is an afterimage, that he turned around quickly and saw Wang Xuan's figure, right behind him, less than a foot away. Lin An's face changed drastically and he quickly stepped back. At this distance, if Wang Xuan had attacked just now, he would have been caught off guard and suffered a heavy loss. The audience in the stands were stunned. He dodged it just like that. How is that possible? Even Yang Linjing couldn't handle it. Did you see it clearly? No, in just a moment, Wang Xuan was standing behind Lin An. Everyone was in disbelief, wondering how Wang Xuan had dodged. On the stage, Wang Xuan slowly extended a finger. 1. Lin An naturally knew what Wang Xuan meant, and he became angry and swung his sword at him. Blue lotus fills the sky. Countless blue petals shot out from it, and finally turned into a sky full of sharp swords. Wang Xuan stretched out one hand and stirred a vortex in the air. The blue petals were sucked into the vortex after touching it, and finally turned into a blue flower vortex. Wang Xuan grasped the flower vortex and waved it towards the sky. The flower vortex exploded in the air into a sky full of blue starlight and dissipated. He stretched out 2 fingers and smiled calmly. 2. The veins on Lin An's temples bulged. He kept growling, bloodshot eyes kept appearing, and a faint black gas was pouring out. It's so hot. So uncomfortable. This is how Lin An felt at the moment. The burning breath gradually burned his reason. He knew that the inner demon had attacked. At this time, he should calm down and concentrate. But Lin An didn't. The inner demon eroded his mind, but at the same time greatly increased his strength. The terrifying breath burst out from Lin An's body, and everyone at the scene heard the wailing of the evil spirit. He jumped into the air, holding the Qinglian sword in his hand, and slashed at Wang Xuan. Wang Xuan! Go to hell! Demon slash! A solid black light cut through the sky, making a sharp whistling sound. Wang Xuan's eyes focused. Bang! A louder sound than ever before resounded throughout the venue. Even the steel ring made a shattering sound. After a moment, it collapsed with a loud bang, raising a cloud of dust. No one could see the situation in the arena clearly. Wang Xuan Prince, he won't die, will he? Lin An's move definitely reached the power of the Grandmaster level, otherwise the ring would not have fallen. In this case, they didn't think Wang Xuan could take it. The result of not taking it, only death. Many people thought of the result after Wang Xuan's death, and their faces suddenly changed. The last son of the Zhenbei king died, and he would definitely not let it go. Luodu. The world is about to change. After a while, the smoke and dust cleared. In the ruins, only a figure in a white robe was left, standing there with a sword in hand. It was Lin An. It seems that I am the winner. Wang Xuan. Ha ha ha. Lin An laughed. He didn't care whether Wang Xuan lived or died, because behind him, but that person was standing there. Seeing that the situation was settled, everyone began to discuss. Alas, Prince Wang Xuan was really too impulsive. Isn't he finished now? If you don't go up, you will lose face at most, but if you go up, you may even lose your life. This is the consequence of overestimating one's own capabilities. The aristocratic families looked unhappy. How dare Lin An kill someone? Isn't he afraid of revenge from the Zhenbei Palace? Although I hate Wang Xuan, this is a provocation to our aristocratic family. Don't worry. Zhenbei Palace will take action. Alas, the next step will be a time of trouble. Although some aristocratic families hate Wang Xuan and want him dead, they definitely don't want him to die at the hands of a commoner. This is a serious provocation to their authority. This tendency must be nipped in the bud. If the Zhenbei Palace doesn't take action, they will. In the VIP seats, Yang Xiaoxue stared at the ruins below the stage, her eyes constantly searching, trying to find that familiar figure. Brother Wang Xuan, please don't be in any trouble. But no matter how hard she looked, she couldn't find him. Yang Xiaoxue's eyes were filled with tears, and her expression was firm. You are going to die. I will kill Lin An. Uncle Fu's eyes were red and bloodshot. He wanted to take action just now, but the moment he stood up, he was locked by a stream of energy behind the curtain of the martial arts arena. the two of them exchanged energy for a while, which delayed him. The opportunity was gone in a flash, and when he came to his senses, it was already a foregone conclusion. Damn it! If anything happens to the young master, I want you all to be buried with me. Uncle Fu said in a cold tone. He stood up hastily and prepared to go down to check on Wang Xuan, just when everyone thought the situation was settled. Boom! A hill of ruins collapsed with a loud bang, emitting a dazzling golden light. The golden light gradually converged, revealing a tall figure. Before everyone could see the appearance clearly, the figure slowly stretched out 3 fingers. 3. Chapter 25. You are listening at NaVoFull.audio. It was Wang Xuan. He didn't die. Everyone was stunned, their faces full of disbelief. This was a complete attack comparable to that of a grandmaster. How could Wang Xuan take it? It looked like the damage wasn't serious. No. There was no damage at all. Although Wang Xuan's clothes were torn and he looked very embarrassed, a closer look revealed that there was no scratch on the exposed skin. How is this possible? How could Wang Xuan be so strong? Wasn't he just an uneducated dude a month ago? Master! Uncle Fu let out a surprised cry and wanted to come down to see what was going on, but Wang Xuan waved his hand to stop him. He was stunned for a moment, then he understood what he meant. The competition was not over yet, so he could not come down. Seeing that Wang Xuan was still alive, Yang Xiaoshua's red eyes flashed with tears, her body softened, and she collapsed on the chair. She thought that the moment Wang Xuan died, her heart seemed to die with him. Fortunately you are okay, fortunately. In the ruins, looking at Wang Xuan's standing figure, Lin An opened his mouth wide, his eyes were about to pop out, and he kept muttering to himself. Impossible. How can you, survived, that he did not hesitate to turn into a demon to use the magic slash, even a master might not be able to take it head-on. How could Wang Xuan, a guy who had just entered the innate realm, possibly take it? And not only did he take it, he also looked unharmed. No. This must be an illusion. Lin An was going crazy, unwilling to admit all this. Are you confused that this prince is fine? Wang Xuan said calmly. Lin An looked at him and nodded dully. Indeed, he really wanted to know, not only him, but everyone at the scene wanted to know. They all pricked up their ears, fearing that they would miss important information. Originally, I couldn't handle your move. But it just so happens that this prince has a body-protecting magic skill, and under the pressure of your move, it actually broke through to the state of perfection. It even condensed the flower of essence in one fell swoop. In this way, I can take your attack safely. After saying this, Wang Xuan showed the 2 flowers condensed on his body. 2 flowers are innate. No one expected that the truth would be so dramatic. Under pressure, Wang Xuan broke through on the battlefield and achieved the realm of 2 flowers. With the protection of the body in the realm of perfection, he took Lin An's fatal blow. Everyone was also regretful. It was really a matter of time and fate. Who would have thought that Wang Xuan could actually break through on the battlefield? In fact, it was not Lin An's fault. Wang Xuan did it on purpose at the beginning. For the golden bell cover to reach the realm of perfection, it could not be achieved by simple practice. Only truly powerful tempering can make the golden bell cover integrated and break through to perfection. When Lin An used the demon slash just now, Wang Xuan could have avoided it, but in the end he chose to bear it hard, because he sensed in his heart that this was the opportunity for the golden bell cover to break through. And with the protection of the heaven-level pure Yang Wuji Gong, he was not afraid at all. Facts have proved that his intuition is correct. The golden bell cover has indeed broken through to the realm of perfection, and he also condensed the flower of essence in one fell swoop. It can be said that he killed 2 birds with 1 stone. So Lin An. Wang Xuan sneered at Lin An. This prince is really grateful to you. If it weren't for you, it would take a long time for my flower of essence to condense. Killing people is not to be ruthless. Lin An felt a tightness in his chest and pointed at Wang Xuan and shouted angrily, "You!" But before he could finish his words, he was so angry that he vomited blood. Wang Xuan looked at the blood spilling all over the sky and sighed in his heart. Why is Lin An bleeding so much? He can't die no matter how much he vomits. If he died by vomiting blood, he wouldn't have to work so hard, ding. The son of luck Lin An was successfully suppressed. Lin An's heart of Taoism collapsed greatly, and his inner demons emerged. He gained 8,000 points of luck. Gold coins exploded. Wang Xuan was happy. It seemed that his words had worked. Not only did Lin An's heart of Taoism collapse, but even his inner demons came out, but he would not stop. It was a good opportunity to make further efforts and kill him while he was sick. Okay, enough of the small talk. 3 moves have been made, now it's my turn to take action. The Green Lotus sword song you used just now, I think it's not quite right. Just a month ago, you lost the Green Lotus sword song to me, and I practiced it for a while. How about letting you appreciate my Green Lotus sword song? Without waiting for Lin An to answer, Wang Xuan pulled out the great Xia dragon bird from his waist. The pitch-black blade exuded a chilling and sharp aura. He planned to use the knife to perform swordsmanship. Wang Xuan held the knife across his forehead, held his breath and concentrated, and the majestic green energy condensed around the knife. A terrifying momentum descended. Everyone could feel the terrifying sword intent in it. This is great sword intent. Point 1 is already outrageous enough, and here there is another one. And compared to Lin An, this sword intent seems to be more pure and condensed. How is it possible? Is this great sword intent everywhere? Of course, this is just a joke. No one dares to underestimate the content of the great sword intent, that would kill people. A lotus withers. As soon as the words fell, the world was quiet in an instant. Wang Xuan slashed through the sky with a huge green energy and stabbed towards Lin An. Wherever the energy passed, the green lotus kept dying. It should have been a cold and sharp sword move, but it actually had a hint of unstoppable and domineering beauty, but this beauty contained a fierce murderous intent. The audience in the training ground felt this murderous intent, and they all breathed rapidly and were terrified. Some people even didn't notice that their backs were soaked. Everyone had the same idea at the same time. How could it be so strong? This level of attack is not something that a second flower innate can launch. It's even more outrageous than Lin An's previous magic slash. This is unreasonable. The second flower innate is already so strong, if it is achieved by Wang Xuan. Grandmaster Realm, what's next? Everyone was shocked. It was really hard to imagine, even the legendary 3 flowers innate couldn't be so outrageous. The people on the stage were just intimidated by the momentum, but Lin An in the ruins of the arena was the one who felt truly desperate. This one lotus withering was the most lethal move in the Green Lotus sword song. Even he couldn't use it. Coupled with Wang Xuan's Deshang sword intent, the power completely exceeded his demon slash. That represented a full-strength attack from the Grandmaster Realm. Just the outward chi force made him feel a stinging pain all over his body. He wanted to dodge, but with his current physical condition, he couldn't dodge at all. Lin An didn't dare to imagine what would happen if this chi force fell on him. He would die. No. I can't die yet. I am the champion of the martial arts exam. I will be the champion. I have a bright future. I also want to be famous all over the world. I can't die here like this. Lin An kept yelling, like a madman. He kept swinging the sword randomly, but was defeated by the green energy one by one, and couldn't even block it. Just when Lin An was in despair, a cold roar sounded. Stop. Chapter 26. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Wang An sneered. I told you to stop, did you hear me? A green figure rushed towards Wang Xuan at an extremely fast speed. Bang. The green figure was stopped by another black figure halfway. How dare you? Who dares to stop me? The green figure stood still, and everyone saw the person clearly. His eyes were like stars, his eyebrows were like sharp swords, and his face was delicate but cold as frost. Everyone's first thought was, what a pretty young lady. But in an instant, this thought was immediately shattered, because the young lady burst out with a terrifying momentum. Everyone shuddered. The power of a grandmaster. This young lady is actually a grandmaster. She is the pure Prime Minister, Moron Wanqing. As soon as these words came out, everyone was shocked. Chu Siyan Wanqing also came to the martial arts test. And she was stopped by someone when she took action. Who is so bold? Little girl, this is a competition, how can you interfere? That the person who blocked the way was Uncle Fu. He also burst out with the aura of a master. Uncle Fu has always been low-key, but he is actually a master. But it is normal, how could the dignified prince of Zhenbei not have a master to protect him? Just now Wanqing delayed him from saving Wang Xuan, how could he not return the favor now? Wanqing's pretty face was gloomy. As a master, just as Uncle Fu could not do anything to her, she could not do anything to Uncle Fu, but she could not watch Lin An die. So Wanqing rushed forward and pretended to fight with Uncle Fu, turned around and shot silver needles at Wang Xuan with her backhand. The momentum was like a rainbow. Shameless. He actually used a hidden weapon against a junior. Fu Bo was furious and could only fly to save Wang Xuan, but he was a beat too late. The flying knife was extremely fast and fierce, pointing directly at Wang Xuan's vitals. Wang Xuan's eyes focused, the knife's momentum flowed, and he swung the knife towards the silver needle. Dingling dang. The silver needle was cut off, but most of the energy on the knife was also broken. Wang Xuan was even more injured by the recoil of the knife, and a trace of blood flowed from the corner of his mouth. The power of the master is so terrifying. Wang Xuan's eyes were firm, and he turned around and slashed the remaining energy towards Lin An. How dare you, you brat! Wanqing let out a cry of shock and anger. She didn't expect that her move could not completely stop Wang Xuan. And Wang Xuan provoked her again and again. The remaining green energy instantly fell on Lin An's body, reflecting the terrified expression on his face. With a puff, the energy exploded in Lin An's body, blasting his skin and flesh, and bleeding. In the end, he fell backwards like a deflated ball. Wanqing finally arrived and helped him up. Lin An barely opened his eyes and saw the pretty face in front of him, and kept crying. Sister Qing'er, Shaoan is in pain. Seeing this, Wanqing felt both distressed and angry. Don't be afraid, Shaoan, sister is here, she said softly, without a trace of the majesty of power over the court. The relationship between Wanqing and Lin An can be traced back to 20 years ago. Her father and Lin An's father were classmates, and she was older than Lin An. She had been playing with Lin An since she was a child. The two were as close as siblings, and her father even intended to marry her to Lin An. But later, Wanqing's father passed the imperial examination and rose step by step, but the family fell into decline, and between the ups and downs, the two lost contact, until a month ago, when she accidentally left the palace. She met Lin An. The two quickly became familiar with each other and called each other brother and sister. Because of some reasons, the family was convicted and killed, and Wanqing was also sent to the palace with her mother until she was reused by the Empress by chance. 2 years ago, her mother also died of illness, and she no longer had any relatives in the world. You can imagine her inner loneliness, so when she met Lin An again, Wanqing's joy was from the heart. She regarded Lin An as her own brother. Even such an important person was actually hurt by Wang Xuan in such a state. How could she not feel distressed and angry? Although Lin An's voice was very low, everyone with some cultivation at the scene heard it clearly, and their faces were all strange. No wonder they took action, they were actually siblings. But it's hard to say whether this brother and sister are decent. In Wanqing's arms, Lin An spat out a mouthful of blood and said weakly. Sister Qing'er, is Shaoan going to die? Don't worry, I will never let anything happen to you. Wanqing took out a pill with golden light and fed it to Lin An. After Lin An took the pill, his injuries stopped getting worse and he finally fell into a deep sleep, but his meridians were destroyed and his dantian was broken. Even if he didn't die, he would be a useless person. This was also Wang Xuan's original plan. Since his luck has not dropped to the stage where he can be killed, he will destroy his cultivation first. After Lin An was carried down for treatment, Wanqing looked at Wang Xuan coldly. The 4 words Zhenbei Palace are like an unclimbable mountain to many people. When others encounter such a thing, they can only swallow their anger, but for her, Wanqing, Zhenbei Palace is not qualified, because she is the Prime Minister. Standing behind her is the highest mountain in Dakian. Humph. Your Highness, you beat the champion of my Dacian martial arts test to the point of life or death in just one competition. You hit him so hard, do you still have any rules in your eyes? Murong Wanqing's tone was as cold as frost. Rules? Are you talking about rules at this time? When Lin An stabbed someone in the chest with a sword, why didn't you come out to talk about the rules? Murong Wanqing was clearly biased and didn't even pretend. Wang Xuan naturally knew it. In the original plot, the Empress thought of their old relationship and influence, and Wang Xuan could actually survive, but in the end he was still killed. It was Murong Wanqing who did it. She was secretly executed and tortured before she died, so in Wang Xuan's eyes, she must die. Well, since you want to play, then I will play with you to my heart's content. Wang Xuan looked at her with disdain and smiled indifferently. Which rule of this martial arts test says that you can't kill someone? Furthermore, Mr. Lin told the old man Li Dazhuang at the beginning that if he died today, he would not blame others, but only blame himself for not being as skilled as others. Young Master Lin himself has no objection, so in what capacity does Prime Minister Qin come to question this prince? You. Murong Wanqing frowned, her eyes were about to spit fire. Wang Xuan's words choked her and she was speechless. Or is it that Master Lin's words are all hypocritical? Only he, Lin An, is allowed to kill people, but others are not allowed to protect themselves. As soon as this statement came out, it immediately caused public opinion to. Lin An also said that he wanted to seek justice for us common people, but he is actually the younger brother of the Prime Minister. It seems that he is not a good person. Those words about being inferior to others are just talk. It's a pity that I supported him just now. Hearing the gossip around, Murong Wanqing was furious. She would never let others slander her brother's reputation like this. Everyone, shut up. The master's power enveloped the entire audience, and everyone was as quiet as a cicada. Seeing that the whole audience had quieted down, Murong Wanqing stared at Wang Xuan. The martial arts test naturally has its own rules, but the competition between you and Lin An is after the martial arts test, so naturally you don't have to abide by such rules. In Dacian, we believe that cultivating morality comes before practicing martial arts. Lin An was just trying to compete with you. In this case, you actually killed him. Where is your moral cultivation? Is this the family education of the king of Zhenbei? Wang Xuan narrowed his eyes and looked at Murong Wanqing coldly. Not to mention that it wasn't a competition from the beginning, it was Lin An who unilaterally provoked me. After that, he even wanted to take advantage of the opportunity to kill me. Fortunately, I was able to survive because of my breakthrough. Those who kill will be killed. This is an unchanging truth since ancient times. Lin An first wanted to kill, he had his own way to die. This prince is kind-hearted. Even if you, Prime Minister Qin, did not take action, I only plan to destroy his Dantian meridians and save his life. Shouldn't he be grateful to this prince? So how can it be said that this prince has no morals? The Prime Minister is so confused about right and wrong, and he immediately put the name of immorality on my Zhenbei Palace. Wang Xuan paused, flicked his sleeves, and said coldly word by word. Do you really think my Zhenbei Palace is easy to bully? Chapter 27. You are listening at NavelFull.audio. Murong Wanqing was stunned by what she said, then she came back to her senses. Her pretty face was so gloomy that it was about to burst into water. She didn't expect Wang Xuan to be so eloquent, and he said that he originally planned to spare Lin An's life. How shameless. If she hadn't taken action, Lin An would have died long ago. However, she couldn't verify the truth of Wang Xuan's words, so she could only suffer in silence. This was secondary. What made her most angry was Wang Xuan's attitude. He dared to contradict her again and again. She is the emperor's eunuch, and all the big and small matters in Dacian have to go through her hands. Everyone inside and outside the court has to respectfully call her Chu Siyan. Not to mention that you are the prince of Zhenbei. Even if the king of Zhenbei is in person, he has to treat her with courtesy. So why do you dare to contradict me? Murong Wanqing snorted coldly. This is absurd. I represent His Majesty. If you contradict me, you are contradicting His Majesty. Are you planning to rebel in the Zhenbei Palace? But when these words came out, everyone was in an uproar. Heroine Wanqing accused the Zhenbei Palace of rebellion. This was a fight to the death. Wang Xuan saw that Heroine Wanqing had torn her face, so he no longer maintained his face. Calling you Chu Siyan is a sign of respect for His Majesty. Who do you think you are? Can you represent His Majesty? You are the descendant of a criminal. If it weren't for the grace of His Majesty, you would be nothing more than a slave. You actually tried to pin the blame of rebellion on my Zhenbei Palace. Do you really think that my Zhenbei Palace is a soft persimmon that you can bully at will? This prince tells you that you are not qualified at all. Heroine Wanqing's gloomy face flushed red in an instant. Identity has always been her Achilles heel, the past that she could not bear to look back on. Since she became the Prince Qing, no one dared to mention her identity, because it was an insult to her. Damn Wang Xuan! How dare he! At this moment, anger devoured Heroine Wanqing's reason. Only Wang Xuan was left in her eyes. In an instant, she slapped out in anger, "What a bullshit Prince of Zhenbei, you dare to insult me like this, let me show you how I will teach you a lesson." Wang Xuan opened his mouth with a horrified expression, motionless as if he was scared silly. Seeing this, Heroine Wanqing felt indescribably happy. Afraid now? It's too late. But when Heroine Wanqing's palm was about to fall on Wang Xuan, she noticed something was wrong. Why didn't the black-robed master who intercepted her just now make a move? Looking closely at Wang Xuan's expression, the corners of his mouth actually slightly raised. What was he laughing at when he was about to die? Why did he take half a step forward? Did he think he was not dying fast enough? No. This is a trap. Heroine Wanqing felt creepy instantly and quickly retreated to avoid it. Swish swish swish. Just as she retreated, a series of air-breaking sounds were heard. The floor where she was just now was densely packed with hundreds of arrows with a cold and dim light. If she walked a step slower, she would be pierced like a hedgehog. There was a commotion in the stands. Many people were frightened and hid at the bottom of the stands. At some point, hundreds of people appeared around the stands. They were wearing black armor, with swords on their waists and powerful crossbows in their hands. There was a strong man with a golden mask leading each of the four sides, exuding the power of a master. Everyone was trembling. The arrows shot into the field were shot by them. At this time, on the ruins of the training ground, Heroine Wanqing was shocked and frightened. She almost died, but Wang Xuan had a look of regret on his face. He almost killed her. This was a trap he set. The days of being a slave were Heroine Wanqing's eternal pain. Wang Xuan was so. He intended to hurt her, make her lose her mind, and then attack him. In this way, he could kill her with the help of the Black Dragon Guards. He was fighting back in self-defense. Even the Empress would not be able to blame him then. Unfortunately, she escaped in the end. Wang Xuan looked at Heroine Wanqing. He was thinking whether he should pretend to be injured and let the Black Dragon Guards kill her on the spot. It still didn't work. There were too many people here. It would be troublesome to leave evidence. He couldn't kill everyone. He was a villain, not a psychopath. There was no need to make everyone the opposite of himself. There is a saying that goes, make fewer enemies and more friends. Enemy attack. Minister of War Lu Chu shouted in panic, and was about to mobilize soldiers to fight back. Wang Xuan immediately shouted, Lord Lu, wait a minute. It's not an enemy attack, these people are guards protecting this prince. Everyone was shocked. These are Wang Xuan's guards. From what we saw just now, the strength of these hundreds of people is enough to kill everyone present without a single one left. I didn't expect that the Zhenbei Palace has such a strong force hidden in Luodu. Lord Lu remembered that the Zhenbei Palace has a guard called Xianlong Guard, which is specially used to protect Wang Xuan. There is a report in a secret file of the Ministry of War. He was relieved immediately. Your Highness, it's just a competition, why bother mobilizing so many troops? Why not let them? But before he could finish his words, he was interrupted by an angry voice. Wang Xuan! How dare you plot against me? Heroine Wanqing frowned, her eyes full of anger. To be able to be a prime minister, she is naturally not stupid. When she came to her senses, she immediately realized that Wang Xuan had deliberately set up a trap to kill her, and she was immediately furious. Lu Chu was already sweating profusely. Auntie, don't be impulsive. Now the situation is stronger than people, you have to be timid. What if the Prince of Zhenbei goes crazy and kills you? It doesn't matter if you die, but don't implicate us. But Murong Wanqing couldn't hear his voice at all, and kept scolding. There are over 100 guards and all kinds of prohibited weapons. Most importantly, you actually tried to kill me. Your Zhenbei Palace is planning a rebellion. Tomorrow, the Japanese Prime Minister will report to the Emperor and execute all your clans. Wang Xuan stared at Murong Wanqing coldly. You want to kill all 9 clans of my Zhenbei Palace, are you sure? Yes, I said, you can wait for death in the Zhenbei Palace. Murong Wanqing was very proud, His Majesty has been looking for reasons to reduce the power of the vassal states recently. Now that she has caught the Zhenbei Palace with a handle, she still can't fulfill her wish. At that time, she must do it herself and make Wang Xuan live a life worse than death, so as to relieve her hatred. Wang Xuan was so angry that he laughed and said to Lu Chu. Sir Lu, tell me, is this prince rebelling? Do I need to execute all my clan members? Lu Chu was sweating profusely, and he quickly smiled and said. Your Highness, you are joking. The Xianlong Guard has long been registered with our Ministry of War, and the weapons they are equipped with have also been approved by His Majesty. How could it be a rebellion? The idea of killing 9 clans is just a joke by Prime Minister Qing who doesn't know the situation. Don't take it seriously, don't take it seriously. Murong Wanqing was surprised. Is this allowed by the Emperor? How is it possible? Lu Chu nodded with a wry smile. She knew that the Minister of War would not joke about this matter, and because of this, she couldn't believe it. No one knew the Empress better than her. How could she allow such a powerful and unstable force to exist in Luodu? Even the Empress's favorite son, the Prince of Huaiyan, had no more than 100 guards in his mansion, and at most some swords, crossbows, such powerful weapons, are absolutely impossible to allow, but the Zhenbei Palace can actually allow it. Why? Murong Wanqing was puzzled. This is not a handle at all, but a supreme honor, just because he is the son of the Zhenbei king. A playboy who eats and waits for death and has no knowledge. Why do you deserve this honor? Murong Wanqing growled unwillingly. Honor? Why? Wang Xuan looked at her helpless rage, his eyes fixed. Then let me tell you. Why? Chapter 28. You are listening at novelfull.audio. As soon as he finished speaking, Wang Xuan tore off his tattered clothes, revealing his solid body that was chiseled by knives and axes. There were many young women in the stands, and they all blushed with shame and felt hot in their hearts, but soon, everyone seemed to notice something and took a breath of cold air. The woman who was shy just now turned pale. Murong Wanqing couldn't help showing a hint of surprise on her gloomy face. Because on Wang Xuan's exposed body, there were dents and countless scars. It was like countless insects crawling on it, which was extremely scary. The largest one was on the chest. It started from the left shoulder and ran diagonally across the chest, ending at the right waist and abdomen. It is hard to imagine how Wang Xuan survived such an injury. Wang Xuan said coldly, do you see these scars clearly? Every scar on this body is a result of an assassination. In the past 15 years since I came to Luodu, I have been the target of numerous assassinations, both large and small. I can't remember how many times I have escaped death, and I was even assassinated by a master of the highest level once. Wang Xuan pointed to the scar that ran diagonally across his chest. This is what I got from that time. Murong Wanqing sneered, those who are righteous have many supporters, while those who are unrighteous have few supporters. It seems that the Zhenbei Palace is very unpopular. You need to reflect on yourself. Wang Xuan said with a playful look, the people who assassinated me were all sent by Rongdi. Murong Wanqing's smile froze and she stopped talking. Everyone suddenly realized, the king of Zhenbei has been guarding the northern border for generations and is a thorn in the eyes of Rongdi. Many of the kings of Zhenbei have died at their hands, but I didn't expect that they would not even let go of the prince in Luodu. It's too hateful. People can't help but feel sympathy. When Uncle Fu saw the scars, his eyes couldn't help but moisten. he has always been with Wang Xuan and knows best what he has been enduring. Yang Xiaoxue was about to cry when she saw the scars on Wang Xuan's body. She finally understood why Wang Xuan alienated him and began to give up on himself after that serious illness. It must be the successive assassinations that made him lose the confidence to live. Don't worry, brother Wang Xuan, Shuer will never leave you again. Wang Xuan continued, my 5 elder brothers all died at the hands of Rongdi assassination. After that, His Majesty allowed me to equip the Zhenbei Palace with 800 armored soldiers, 1,000 crossbows, and countless swords, so that we can travel freely in Luodu. Our Zhenbei Palace has guarded the northern border for Daqian for generations, and we have worked hard and devoted all our efforts. Thousands of clan members died. Now I am the only one left in my generation. Everyone felt the sadness and desolation in Wang Xuan's tone. It was as if they saw the soldiers who died in the northern border of Daqian. Some people even burst into tears. This is not an honor, it was earned with blood from the Zhenbei Palace. But if possible, I would rather not have it. I hope that my soldiers and my family can live well. So you tell me. Wang Xuan stared at Muron Wanqing and shouted word by word. Why? You. Wang Xuan's words made Muron Wanqing blush and turn pale. She wanted to refute, but she couldn't say a word. The atmosphere was stagnant for a moment. Seeing this, the Minister of War Lu Chu ran out to act as a peacemaker. Your Highness, let's talk it over nicely. Why don't you ask the guards to put down their weapons first? Wang Xuan sneered, sure. But she insulted my Zhenbei Palace and said she would kill all 9 clans of this prince. I want her to apologize to me. Muron Wanqing snorted coldly, don't even think about it, that it was impossible to apologize, otherwise her prestige would plummet and it would be difficult to convince the public in the future. This was secondary. The most important thing was that she represented the face of the Empress to some extent. Bowing her head would damage the prestige of the Empress. The Empress would definitely blame her when she knew about it. Wang Xuan laughed, then his expression condensed, and he shouted loudly. Where are the Black Dragon Guards? The Black Armored Guards shouted in unison. Here. What about those who insulted my Zhenbei Palace? Even if he is far away, he must be punished. The murderous aura was so strong that it resounded through the sky. The timid people were frightened and fell to the ground. Then Wang Xuan raised a finger of his right hand, and the sound of the mechanism winding up was heard one after another. The scene was silent, and everyone was trembling with fear, fearing that innocent people would be implicated. Lu Chu advised with sweat on his forehead, Prime Minister Qing, just apologize. If you want to die, don't drag us down with you. Muron Wanqing gritted her teeth and said nothing. She just didn't believe that Wang Xuan dared to kill her without any reason and in public. Lu Chu had no choice but to step forward and whisper in his ear, I don't know what he said. Muron Wanqing's face was puzzled at first, and then became surprised. After Lu Chu finished speaking, her face was so gloomy that it was about to drip with water, full of unwillingness and anger. Finally, she bit her lip and said reluctantly. I made a rash statement and offended the Zhenbei Palace and His Royal Highness the Crown Prince. Please be magnanimous and forgive me. After saying this, he bowed to Wang Xuan, but in his eyes as he lowered his head, there was an incomparable resentment. Wang Xuan smiled and said, okay, this matter is over. But, there is one more thing. Muron Wanqing's face tightened. You are such a hateful boy, how can this be reasonable? Lu Chu's face was also extremely ugly. What else does your Highness want to do? Wang Xuan said calmly, did you forget that at the beginning, she shot a few silver needles at me, and then slapped me? Muron Wanqing said angrily, you are talking nonsense, I didn't hit you with that palm at all. Who said you didn't hit me? That palm just now hit my shoulder. It's an internal injury. It hurts a lot now. After saying that, he rubbed his shoulder. Muron Wanqing was very angry. She had seen Wang Xuan's shamelessness. What do you want to be like? Wang Xuan spread his hands and said, I won't embarrass you, just give me a slap. This. Muron Wanqing didn't know what to say for a moment. If it was just one palm, it wouldn't be a problem at all. She is a master. Even if Wang Xuan's strength is far beyond the innate, it is still not enough for her. this palm might not even break her body's protective energy, so she said calmly, "I agree." Wang Xuan slowly walked in front of her. Wang Xuan stared at him intently. It must be said that Wang Xuan is indeed handsome and dashing. She felt a little embarrassed when she was so close to him. If there is a chance in the future, maybe she can take him as a male pet and play with him as she pleases. Are you ready? Come on. Wang Xuan collected her mind and kept her protective chi flowing. If Wang Xuan wanted to use a dirty trick, the recoil of her protective chi would make him suffer. Wang Xuan slapped her. It was light and seemed to have no strength at all. What was he doing? Did he realize that he couldn't offend me and planned to sell me out? Wang Xuan sneered in her heart, thinking of selling out now. Too late. I will destroy your Zhenbei Palace sooner or later. Just as she was stunned, Wang Xuan's palm suddenly turned. Not good. Snap. A crisp sound rang out. Wang Xuan was stunned. Lu Chu was stunned. Everyone present was stunned. Wang Xuan slapped Wang Xuan, but it hit him in the face.